What's up guys, Frank Type Art here from Full Size Run. Today we're going to give you an example of a fake Travis Scott and a real Travis Scott Air Jordan 6. So here we have fake pair and a real pair, and we're going to go over some of the details that to how to spot a fake. There's a ton out there. I've seen so many fakes already. There is a lot out there. So a couple things we are going to go over is the boxes themselves, the stitching, and a blacklight test. Those are the three easiest ways to tell, aside from the obvious ones that if you didn't have another one in person, that you could tell the difference from. So first, fake pair right here, real pair here. A couple major things that we're going to go over real quick on the box itself. So obviously, you guys can tell, one pair is obviously a different size. One's a size 11, one is a size 10. Now I don't know how much different the box size should be. It is obviously a big difference, but we don't know actually, unless they were the same size, the sizing of box. But for now, we're just going to continue on as if this is a correct size for a size 10 box. But as you can see, and we'll go over some close-ups on it, the coloration of the boxes is completely off. One is a more like pineish green, and one is a more darker olive kind of green. As well as the fake pair, the box is already damaged from like shipping and stuff like that. They don't handle them like the real pair. The real pair is a lot more satinish, I guess you would say. The other pair is pretty scuffed up and, like I said, a lot darker. A couple other things that I noticed: size tags. If you look on both of them, like I said, we'll zoom in on them. The size tag on the fake pair is actually written in like a black, and on the real pair, it's kind of like the font is almost a dark hunter green. So that's something that stood out to me. The size tag itself has some minor differences, but that color thing was pretty big for me. It almost looks like it has a green tint over it as opposed to the fake pair looking just black. If you had them side by side, it'd be super easy to tell because the box coloration and just finish on the box is a huge difference. So as far as the inside of the box, the inside reds are two different colors. Pretty big difference there. Like I said, it's kind of hard to tell if you don't have one next to it. On the real pair, what would you actually call these? Like the verification kind of authenticity little tabs? Yeah, I guess. Like a little, they always put like little stickers inside the boxes. That's a good way to tell. I've seen fakes come with them, not in the 6s yet. This pair does not have no tags or date of production sometimes. I'll take the whole shoes out. Put that on a fake pair for now. As well as this tag. I'm sure you guys seen this tag before. Do you know what this tag's called? Cameraman? I always forget what that's called. Anyway, it says YDM on it. So that tag right there, that's a pretty good way of telling, but there is a lot of fakes, like I said, that have had that tag, but the 6s I have not seen with that tag on the box on a fake pair yet. So, all right. Now let's go over some qualities of the shoes. All right, so we'll take both same sides out. One thing before I get into the shoes that I thought was pretty easily noticeable is one, the fakes, the laces are off the shoe as opposed to them being on. That's obviously, these can come off. That's not a way to tell. But it was a good sign that I had seen. Now, about the laces though, the laces on the actual shoe itself are a different texture, as well as the ones in the extra laces, the yellow and the black. The color is also off, very little on the yellow, very hard to tell if you don't have it with it. The size of the bag is actually a little bit bigger on the fakes. And then one of the biggest, very easily noticeable one is the bag has a Jordan symbol on it on the fakes. Both bags have Jordan branding on them, as opposed to the real does not have any. No Jordan logo, no branding on the real pair. So now, getting into the actual shoe itself. Real pair, fake pair, once again. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Now, the real pair and the fake pair, side-by-side comparison, I don't know how good you're going to be able to see it on the video, but color difference is pretty drastic. This is more of a brighter olive. This is more of a kind of washed down olive color to it. Right off the first look, you could easily tell, as well as the bottoms that glow in the dark here. This one is a lot more kind of translucent and more brighter of a white, as opposed to this one kind of looks more creamy, maybe a little bit dirty, if you will. Another couple obvious things that I've seen without getting into depth within stitching and stuff like that. The little lace lock here. I'm gonna zoom into all this as you'll see it as well. But where it says Cactus Jack on the lace lock is actually the fake pair is a lot bolder than the original pair, the real pair. Actually, not really. When I first was looking at the shoe, I thought that the Jordan logo was a little crazy looking on this lace lock. As you see here, the legs are like super elongated and just looks kind of messed up. But now that I look at the real pair, I mean, it's more excessive on the fake pair, but the authorized pair, it's there too, but it's not as excessive. A lot darker in print though. Going to the back of the shoe where there's the embroidery, I actually thought when I had got the real pair, I thought it was kind of crazy looking at the Cactus Jack on the back. The A and the C basically touch, and the A is very hard to see the actual A itself on the jack part of the Cactus Jack. They're almost, on the real pair and the fake pair, they're very close and they're almost touching. The fake pair has less of an A shape. It kind of just looks like a squiggly line as opposed to like the real pair having kind of like an A. Now to go over some of the stitching on the shoe. Another thing, in the perforated holes right here on the front, as you see, once again, fake pair, real pair. I'm gonna try to keep the fake pair on my right side the whole time. But on the perforation on the front, right after the toe box, is a lot closer to the actual stitching right here, as opposed to the real pair, has a little bit of space in there. Another thing is the Jordan branding here in the front. The body is pretty off, kind of classic fake, if you guys may. The body looks a little bit more bulged out towards the stomach area, and you see there, side-by-side comparison so you can see. I guess now we'll get into some of the stitching flaws that I see in the fake versus real. As far as stitching goes, in the front kind of toe box, the front right, there is a pretty decent flaw as opposed to, if you look at this one, the real pair, it kind of wraps around here up in the front. I'll show you a close up too. And then the fake pair kind of like, it almost squares off. It kind of stitches down, stops, turns angle, and then goes again. And it's not consistent with that kind of flow that it originally has. On the back kind of like heel pull tab, the stitching is a lot less sloppy, to say the least, on the legit pair. You see it's super clean, and we're talking right here. Super clean there on the stitching. Now let's go to the fake pair. And as you see right here, pretty sloppy in the stitching there. Another one, I'm trying to keep these on the same side. What I did notice is that, and this might not be all pairs, this is just something I noticed on the pairs that we have here. On the tongue itself, up top, it's like super cut up and beat up, which is, you know, kind of normal, but it's excessive. As you see on the real pair versus the fake pair. And this one is super excessive with threads being exposed. Going back to the Jumpman on the front, on the real pair, if you actually open this little kind of pocket thing they have going on here, the embroidery on the back of the Jumpman is kind of like hollowed out, and the fake pair actually kind of left some cardboard from when it was embroidered onto it. As well as it does look kind of filled in the back of the Jumpman. I don't know how well you can see it, but I will zoom in on that. Another thing that I noticed on the fake and the real is if you actually open the little pocket, what these are kind of known for, and you look in there, I'm gonna need to get a camera inside to actually show you, but there's a little kind of like, almost like another piece of this little pull tab here. In there, it kind of reminds me of like, an easy way to explain it is almost like Virgil's iconic little, you know, hang tag little thing. But the fake pair doesn't have it at all, or it's cut way too short. So we're definitely gonna need a close up to see that. One other thing I noticed on the stitching is where the pocket kind of meets the back, where it's kind of stitched in, the stitching on the fake pair is super sloppy, very, very noticeable, as opposed to the real pair, we're talking right here, being super clean, and the fake pair is just unacceptable. You could tell from a mile away, super easy. All right, so going to the bottom of the shoes, not too many differences here. I mean, obviously the color, but we talked about that earlier from the sides of the shoe. This one's a lot lighter, this one's a lot more creamer. But as far as the bottom, they're pretty much identical, except for what I noticed, very, very, very small difference is these little kind of dots on the bottom. Is these ones are much more, they have much more depth to them, starting at closer to the Jumpman where they first start, and how they're supposed to kind of gradually get bigger and more in depth with the holes there. And as you see, these ones are almost barely there, and this is the real pair that I'm talking about. The little like kind of dimples in there are hardly noticeable, and then they start to get more deeper and bigger. And then the fake pair, it's kind of consistent all the way through. They're very bold and easy to tell right off from the rip. All right, so now we're gonna do some black light testing on it. Got a nice little black light here. We're also gonna go over some of the glow, because it's easy to kind of tell with a black light and being as though we're in light, so it's kind of hard to tell with glow. But fake pair, real pair once again. The fake pair, it glows, but it loses its glow very quickly. And personally, I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell in video, but the real pair glows a lot brighter. So without further ado, we'll get into that. I'm gonna use the black light to show the glow. As you see, it stays there for a while. It goes all the way through. Now we're gonna do it on the fake pair. And it glows, but that glow goes away extremely fast. I mean, they almost disappeared at the same time, and I had them on the real pair longer. So actually, we could kind of put them together so we could show the glow effect on it. As you see, it goes away a lot faster than the real pair. And on the bottom is still kind of glowing a little bit. I don't know if you could tell, but no glow at all. Now going over some black light things that I've seen with on the shoe that's different is, well, the fake pair on the inside of the pocket, and we're talking about the little Cactus Jack smiley face right now, in there inside the pocket. If you look at the real pair, it doesn't really glow. I mean, it's a very, very low shine to the glow if you actually look at the smiley face, as opposed to the fake pair, glows very bright as the back of the shoe does. It's just like that, it glows very bright. Also, what I noticed, if you take the black light and run it across this stitching right here, you actually see a line of the stitching, as opposed to the real pair, no line there when you go over the stitching. Also, a couple different spots in the front of the shoe that I seen. Right on the bottom of the tongue where it kind of meets the shoe, you see some almost looks like stitching marks there. Opposed to the real pair, no lines, nothing like that. There was one other spot that I wanted to talk about. And then right here by this first kind of like tab on the toe box on the fake pair, you could once again see some kind of stitching marks, and the real pair does not show any signs of that. It's not there at all. And I guess that's kind of where they want it to stitch it. Maybe they use like some kind of black ink, blacklight ink, to show where they need to stitch it. Kind of like tracing the outside of where they would kind of make this patch here. And they looks like they fell just quite short of it, and you could still see it. Well, that concludes our comparison for the Air Jordan 6 Cactus Jack. Thank you guys for watching. If you like comparison videos like this, leave a comment and we'll be sure to make more. If you guys notice anything that I didn't, leave a comment. I'm human, I make mistakes, I might not see it. But yeah, like, share, subscribe. My name's Frank from Full Size Run here in the Monmouth Mall. And this wraps up our video. Thank you guys for watching.